Alright guys, so we're gonna jump into the more expensive type of puckle tower. Once again, you don't necessarily need to make this out of a stone, but if you're gonna have mortars, for this one you're actually gonna not have mortars. So if you're gonna have mortars on this one, at least do recommend the outer layer to be made out of stone. So same principle. Now, ideally, this is the base for the small puckle tower. Once again, but we're gonna go, since we're making a more expensive one, we're going even further. Now, there's a couple choices you can make here. You can add another wall, so you can add, because we're gonna have the puckles here. This first wall, second wall is gonna have puckles, and then I could just add a ceiling here and put the mortars, and that would be the end of it. But if you do want the extra DPS, you have the extra wall. Just keep in mind, the taller you go, you can make this even taller if you like, make your own variation of it. But just keep in mind that there's also a structure limit. So keep in mind, if you make this really tall, you might end up hitting the structure limit because you need the railings for this puckle tower to be extremely effective. So before I actually put the ceiling, this is the part where I have to add the puckles. So usually go from here. So once again, when you set up your puckles, make sure you do reload them before you actually put the NPCs. Although I did find that with this build, I don't need to reload my puckles because people get very intimidated the moment they see the puckle tower. And by the time they try to attack it, my NPCs have already reloaded. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna fill this other layer with puckles. Alright, so this is how it looks with the second layer. I could add another layer on top of this, and that will make it even more powerful. Once again, with this turret tower, there's actually enough space inside to set like a small, like a smithy or like even a forge and a resource box for like having your quote unquote mini outpost. Or if you're a solo player and you set up a tower like this, you could probably use this as a base itself. Although I don't think you can be able to store any animals on it, but it also works as a base. All right, so I'm not going to add another layer. I have enough space to actually add another layer of puckles, but we're gonna skip the other layer of puckles. Of course, you don't have to make the doors out of wood. You can make it of stone or whatever else you want. The main reason why I added those railings on top, and usually I leave that up to like the discretion of the player who builds the towers. You could add ceilings, but if somebody glides and lands on top of those wood ceilings, they can just destroy the swivels below. So if somebody lands in there, they will get stuck because they won't grenade inside and just kill themselves and grenade everything. Also prevents scraps from just jumping on top of the just jumping on top, and they will usually get stuck if they try to jump on the railings. Same thing for a dragon; usually won't be able to like just bite through. Now we're gonna add the last part of the tower. So usually you want to go 15 pillars high. So usually because of this build, you can go really high up if you want. You can keep placing ceilings because you have, so you don't have to worry about like having to start from the beginning when you're placing the actual puckles, because you have like foundation support from below. All right. So now the question is how we're gonna get the NPCs. Well, then we're actually gonna have to walk them to it. Now we're gonna have to build a staircase all the way up there. You wanna put them on lowest following speed so they actually go up the stairs. And usually, the majority of the time, it's just gonna be one at a time. Just very slowly. Oh, he actually fell off. Let's try this again. It's gonna be some trial and error when you do this. If you also have a crab, you can also walk them with a crab using the stairs, or a ramp if you want to build a ramp as well. That also works. I'm just doing the stairs because it's actually faster. Now here's the annoying part. Yeah, kind of have to be quick. What we're gonna do when we place the ceiling, place the puckle, place the NPC, and then remove the ceiling. So what you want to do is place the ceiling here, place the puckle. Want to make sure it can actually remove the ceiling. Yes. Now we're gonna put the NPC, and now we're gonna pick up the ceiling. You do not demo the ceiling, otherwise it will demo the puckle. So make sure you do this before actually timer runs out, so you can actually put an NPC on a pillar. Alright, so now we have the NPC on the pillar. If I set it to all targets, it's not gonna have any ammo because we're too high up for the puckle to shoot or to actually take ammo from the ammo box. So there's two things you can do. You can manually put ammo, or you can try to put a pillar only for an ammo box in order to reload. Now the puckle range is actually surprisingly high. So that puckle will actually shoot from all the way up there. And for that I'm gonna give you a demonstration. Which direction is that puckle? This way. So as you can see, that is pretty far. It's actually insane range. If that was a player, all those puckles from the ground would have shot, as well as the sky puckle would have also shot anyone. Usually that works really well. Let's say if somebody is trying to attack the puckle tower and you want to hide behind a rock, the puckles won't shoot, but the sky puckle will actually shoot me because it covers much more terrain, especially in areas where like there's low ground and high ground where people can hide. But ideally, I would recommend just putting foundations and get rid of like rocks and trees, so your sky puckles and ground puckles can actually shoot. So pretty much you can set like I believe 4 more sky puckles within this tower. That is really up to you, or you could also add some ceilings and add more puckles and have a bunch of sky puckle towers. So we're gonna jump into the final part, which is the most important part. It is defensive, and there's a reason why early in the video we made these 2 foundations, is so we can connect the railings to the top of the tower. So pretty much we're gonna do this all around the tower to give you an idea how this will actually look. For this, I do not use stone foundations. You're gonna be wasting resources. Do not use, and I repeat, do not use stone railings, because stone railings have a much bigger hitbox than wood railings, and grenades will actually go through a stone railing. So for this bird cage slash cage, well, I call it a bird cage in this case. This is very similar to a bird cage from other games like Ark, except an Atlas form. So this will prevent grenades from doing a splash damage to your puckles, to your swivels, because we're within 2 foundation range. So if there's any splash damage, we'll only be within 1 foundation range. So your puckles will be protected. And you do this all the way up. So it is very resource consuming, but the amount of damage that you do it's pretty insane if like someone tries to attack your tower with a crab or with a tame. With a crab, that crab will die very quickly. The only way someone can counter this tower is with a cannon bear or a cannon horse. Like they have to bring a cannon to get rid of this puckle tower. They have to get rid of the. They have to get rid of the railings, and then they have to get rid of the puckles. So they have to go through another extra step to get rid of your tower. And that's pretty much it. You do the same thing. You don't need to like add another ceiling here, another foundation here. And you definitely want to add a door. You can use this as a base. You can use this as a forward outpost, as a farming station. You can put like smithies, forges. You can put a smithy in here and put a resource box. So there's enough space to actually use this as a farming station. You can also add put a ceiling and put a forge on top of this, and have a couple forges running. I got a couple floors on top of it. Although I definitely don't know how I feel about making that an actual base, but you can definitely use that as a farming outpost and stuff like that. A very expensive farming outpost, but you can definitely live inside of this kind of tower. And it will be better. It's not going to be as simple as just throwing 2 grenades and get rid of all your puckles. People will have to actually bring cannon bird to get rid of your tower. But yeah, let's test this out against an enemy tame.